What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Couch Potato. I'm the Couch Potato.
I'm Sweet Potato.
And we're your favorite Commen-Taters.
Wow.
Power, Season 5, Episode 2. This is a very interesting episode, actually. I've been checking with people that's been posting on Facebook and Twitter. And for what I understand, some people like this episode better than the season premiere.
Okay.
I kind of disagree because the season premiere wrapped everything up.
Yep.
And then set forward in motion what was going to be happening. So I kind of disagree on that.
Yeah.
But it was still it was good because it was still pushing forward the narrative. Like, it didn't feel like they were stalling in this episode at all.
No, they set up a lot more things.
Yeah, and I'm still kind of iffy on where it's gonna go.
Yeah.
Cause that's the only thing. Like, I'm not sure where. Like, but that's a good sign of television. Cause we've called a lot of things in previous seasons. Like last season, we called a whole lot.
Right.
We were able to tell what was going on. This season, I mean, we kind of picked some things like from the last episode what we said, but I'm still not 100% sold on what's going to happen. So that's the part that's kind of messing with me. But, I mean, that's just a testament to good writing where the people that theorized the whole last season is struggling in this season. Well, kind of struggling because we ain't all the way off. We're just not 100% sure.
Right. I'm just worried about, like, certain things and people. Like, I can't place, only because the way that the characters are acting and reacting are not ways that I would act and react. But I don't know. That could just be me. I'm crazy, or they crazy. Somebody crazy. You know. So.
Just diving a little bit into the episode. We're gonna keep doing it by characters because I feel like that's easier to follow than just starting from the beginning and just trying to tell the story and getting sidetracked. So, starting, of course, with the St. Patrick's.
Okay.
It was funny. Like, well, I'm gonna get to the funny part of the episode. But Ghost is still trying to figure out what to do as far as with how to deal with Raina dying. Like, he started going through his grieving step, but he's still just trying to process his feelings. And that's like the most difficult part for him is like how to process his daughter dying and what to do next.
Right. Something that I do like that they're doing, showing the juxtaposition between the way Ghost is handling Raina's death and how Tasha is handling Raina's death, because they had a scene in her bedroom where Tasha was just sitting in there looking at her picture and stuff, and then Ghost came in to tell her something, and he just was like, I don't know the last time I came in here, or I haven't been in here since, you know. And Tasha is like, you can't come in and I can't leave. So like, they're in two different like difficult spaces. It's like he is in like the angry, not denial. I mean, he knows that she's gone and she's not coming back, but it's like the whole, you know, and the thing is, what's good about it is real life, because people handle death very differently from each other. Some people choose to ignore it and try to just move on real quick and just let it go. And I think Ghost is trying to be that person, but he's still kind of stuck. And then Tasha is the other type of person who loses a child that I'm going to keep their bedroom exactly the same. Yeah. Or like, you know, I'm going to still go celebrate their birthday.
Right. She's trying to tackle it head on.
Yeah. And she's like, I want to go to counseling. I need grief therapy. I need, you know.
She's trying to get the help.
Yeah, she needs it. And it sucks because she is telling him, like, I need somebody to talk to. And the only people that I can talk to is
the people
Tommy,
that don't want to talk about it.
Right. I can only talk to you, Tommy, people who ain't got no emotions, Tariq. And then she can't talk to Lala because if she talked to her for real, she gonna tell her too much, and you don't want to tell Lala too much. And so it's like,
she's trying to keep Lala in the plausible deniability area,
right?
So she doesn't want to fill her in on too much, just to accidentally let it slip one day,
right?
Or if Mad Day come and then all of a sudden.
Not Tasha, but Lala over it.
Right.
You know, so it sucks.
I do think that with that, Tasha is going to go and find somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
Like, she's going to go.
Like, she can't even talk to, her little boo. She can't even talk to him about it.
Right. And she did say they actually went to like a church support group with other parents that have had children die or be murdered. You know, different things like that. And Ghost is telling her, like, we can't like talk to this group because they won't understand us. So Tasha says, well, why don't we just go and find us a support group with murderers, drug dealers, and they're gonna understand us.
Like, and she was being sarcastic, but they probably got those people out there.
Pretty sure somehow power is gonna write that into existence. So I definitely see that happening. Also with the St. Patrick's, well, after that brief conversation, after Tasha went back in the house, this nigga goes back and then calls Angela. He doesn't want to talk to Tasha about it, but it seems like he's trying to call Angela to talk to her about this, even though, you know, Tasha is going through the same thing.
Yeah, to be his emotional support system. And, like, the thing is, it's season 5, and I shouldn't be surprised at it, but it's just like, he really pissed me off with that. It's so upsetting and disgusting. That's just like, I mean, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, this, it's so many things that Angela has done to you and to your family. You know what I'm saying? And like, yet and still, you lost a child with somebody that you even married to still. Like, this ain't even like, oh, this your baby mama and y'all ain't good like that. But like,
we from Louisiana where they have voodoo. So I gotta go back and watch some past seasons to see if Angela ever made Ghost spaghetti. Like, that's what I need to go see. Like, because the way that Ghost is running up, like, I don't know what Latinas have. Like, we down south black, we have voodoo. I don't know what kind of, if they have like
it depends
voodoo
on where she from, because some of them have voodoo.
Okay, see, I don't know if they have. So that's what I want to go see, because if she's ever made Ghost spaghetti in any of the past seasons, it makes perfect sense now. Like, it makes completely perfect sense. Like,
but I don't know. It's just real upsetting, and it further makes me be like, one, Tasha, hurry up and just get out and get away from him. Like, it ain't even, just leave him. Leave him. He not supportive of you. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't be in this situation if it wasn't for him. You know what I mean? Like, it's so, I mean, granted, Tasha not perfect. I don't want to say.
Yeah, you placing a whole lot of blame on Ghost.
I am, but Ghost placed a lot of blame on her too. He don't be taking responsibility for his actions.
Can't lie about that.
So it's just, I don't know. It's just annoying, and like the fact that he didn't call Angela multiple times in this episode, trying to pour his little punk ass heart out to her, really upsets me. That's it. Tariq
didn't really have anything. Like, he's feeling guilty, supposedly. So that we'll see how that rolls, because I mean, you can't really see how he's feeling based on this episode.
And they talking about sending him to the school to Chode out in Connecticut or whatever it is.
That he was supposed to go to last season before
everything happened. And I think it's a good idea to send his little ass away.
I think he's gonna try to run away. I don't think it's gonna work. Something's gonna happen that's gonna stop that.
Right.
Two things still on the St. Patrick family. Well, three things technically. One, there was another inkling of Kanan being Tariq's daddy in this episode, in my opinion.
Which was what?
When Ghost was talking to Kanan in the car, he was asking him, did anybody else know that Tariq was tied in with Ray Ray? And Ghost, told him, like, oh, these are only other two people, because Tariq was hitting licks with them.
Right.
And Kanan got to complimenting him. He was like, man, that little nigga gangster, he way more gangster than you was at his age. He was just big up in Tariq a whole lot.
Like, it's in his blood.
Yeah, and he was like, it's in his bloodline, And then Ghost is like, that ain't the life that I want for him. So those lines like that are just inkling that it could come out. Because it's just all, like I said, if you go back and watch the last episode, whenever Ghost tell Tasha that it was Kanan me alive, like, just look at Tasha's face whenever Kanan come up.
And the look that they exchanged outside of the church, too, whenever she saw Kanan with them.
Yeah, man. It's just like, so that is one of my strongest theories.
Oh, yeah. I'm with you.
So, yeah, I want to definitely see if that's how it happened. Next, they all kind of converged to find out about the Jimenez brothers. That they all got cards and stuff like that. And Tommy, a deal that he made in last season, at the beginning of the episode, one of the ports got jacked by the Jimenez brothers, so he's been unable to pretty much get his drugs in at the same time, and the guy lost $2 million. So when he came and approached him, he was like, Tommy, you gotta give me my money. Ghost, since you can't do business without Ghost, you in this. And when Kanan was like, okay, you in this shit too. So now all of them got to work together for more shit.
Yeah.
So that definitely, that's another story that we're going to have resolved by the end. And so now, since all of them are tied into it, Tommy was relaying the Ghost like, we could kill the Jimenez, which, I mean, we all know that'd be extra hard. And if we take out the Jimenez first, then we can get Dre without having any repercussions and consequences. And Ghost is like, man, that's another connect. Like, that'll be the third connect that they have to have killed. Like, nigga, how many other people you gonna be able to get these drugs from? You know? Right. And the last thing was, Councilman Tate was trying to, like, he had a talk with Ghost, and he was like, yeah, one way for us to, you know, big up our project and get more investors and donations is if you know, talk about Raina's murder. And, you know, try not to leave it as an unsolved murder because it raises too many more questions. And, I mean, of course, Ghost and Tasha know what happened, but, you know, the public doesn't.
He wanted to do a press conference with them offering reward money for information. Bounty. Yeah, or, you know, for information about the murder, and it's just like...
And Tasha's just like, no, we know what happened. All it's going to do is
bring speculation toward Tariq or toward us, right. And that's what she trying to avoid this whole episode.
So, when Ghost tells Councilman Tate that Tasha isn't up for it, he was like, well, you could just bring her to this small benefit that I'm having. It could change her mind. And, I mean, shit, it did, technically. But when they do show up, this nigga set up the whole press conference. Like, he caught them completely by surprise. They just walked straight in the door, and then it's just flashing lights and cameras and a microphone.
And this is one of the moments that I'm talking about that I wouldn't react the way that she reacted. Like, okay, we know that Ghost caught up with Councilman Tate, however he kind of caught up with him, but it's just like, all right, you walk your ass up in there and do this. If it was me, okay, and him, he already know. I would have turned smooth around, and you would have been in there by yourself. And me and you could have our little argument later, but I'm not about to go up there. I ain't doing it. I said I wasn't doing it, and I ain't doing it. But then again, when I think about Tasha's character over the subsequent 4 seasons, she is a submissive woman. That's not a negative, but in this instance, it's a negative.
I disagree highly on that last statement because if Tasha was submissive, she would have let Ghost get out the damn drug game in the beginning.
Submissive in some aspects.
Thank you. Thank you. I agree with that part.
She just needed to take some convincing on him getting out the drug game. He threw that on her real quick. He didn't try to do no type of coercing her. But I know what you mean. Yeah, if she was truly submissive, it'll be whatever that nigga say.
This whole show would exist if she was truly submissive.
Blah, blah, blah.
But yeah, and afterwards, pretty much now she's still pissed off with Ghost because she was like, you set
me up.
And he was like, no, he set us up.
And then she was like, I don't give a shit.
Right. So, yeah, that beef is starting to brew a little bit more between Ghost and Councilman Tate.
Oh, and then we know that Councilman Tate was running for governor.
Yes, we did in the last season.
I just feel like I didn't know. I don't know. That was news to me.
That's how I feel. I feel like it was brought up last season, but we'll leave a comment and say we was wrong or not. We'll look back and find out. Okay. Moving on to Tommy. Everything that Tommy has done from the beginning of this season to last season caught up to his ass. Tommy always doing some stupid shit that catches up to him. Yeah, I just want to put that out there.
But that's just a difference in characters. Like, some are more
calculated,
and he is not a calculated person.
Yeah, he's just reckless, and he just
That's why Tommy cannot be a boss.
Right. And that's why he needs Ghost.
Yep.
But starting from the beginning, first, after, like I said, they converged to find out what was happening with Jimenez, and then Tommy now owes the Serbian, you know, the guy that eats people.
Right.
Like he owes him $2 million. So now he has to figure that out. Next, the guy that works for his dad, Tony Teresi, finds him, bring him back to the shop, and shows him that one of the guys that he hired to do the hit on Dre survived.
Yeah.
But he was dying, of course. So, because Dre shot his ass. So, after that, like, the guy is pissed at Tommy because, Tommy did not go through the proper channels in order to get this hit done. And he just hired the people outside. So we said that in our last review that was going to happen. Like, that's going to be an issue. So after they left, Tommy, he goes to talk to his dad, to try to see what he should do. And, his friend already ratted Tommy out.
Yeah.
So, he already told Teresi, what happened because he didn't... I get... When it comes to the mob, you can't hold secrets anyway. You can't know stuff and then not say something. So, you have to say something in order to prove your loyalty, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So, Teresi gets on him, of course, treats him like a son. Like, dude, you got to go apologize. And whatever punishment, that he says, you take it. Like, you messed up. And you should have come talk to me first, which he should have.
Yeah.
And asked Teresi what he should have done.
Yeah, and that was my thing too. Like, okay, Teresi introduced you to his people, but you didn't go talk to Teresi in depth about how the mob works. Like, Tommy is a regular street hustler, okay? But then you dealing with the mob. They got different ranking systems. They got different, channels and ways they operate, just like the Jimenez. That's a cartel. They got different ranking systems and how they work. Every and the Serbians too. Like, these people, you got to think, all different ethnic backgrounds, even though we all dealing in drugs and we all dealing in drugs, but culturally, we got different ways of handling things. So, you, little white boy from the hood, from the black hood, you know what I'm saying? You operating that way versus operating how Italians operate. So that's what you should have learned from your daddy. But, this is Tommy.
Right.
He reckless. Tommy will never be a boss. I'm going to go ahead on and put that out there. He never will be. He got these short bursts of he in charge, but he can never maintain
unless he gets his act together this season, like the Italians get his mind right, I don't see, and that's the only way I see that him changing how he operates is because the Italians are like, dude, you gonna end up dead. They son him until he realizes how stupid he's been.
Right.
So, it's like sooner or later, Tommy's gonna have to listen to somebody. And I feel like now that he has a father figure and not a father figure in Ghost, because technically he's been having a father figure in Ghost pretty much. So, until I feel like he's gonna start listening to his dad in order to become more powerful.
Right.
So that's what I do feel like is going to happen because, now he finally has a family, so he's going to want the respect from his family more than anybody at the end of the day. So that's why I see that going.
And the one other little tidbit that we got from the conversation between Tommy and his dad is the fact that the operation, the experimental treatment that they were trying to give for Teresi's wife, it didn't work. And then Teresi told Tommy not to let her know that he is his kid because that'll kill her faster. And Tommy kind of had a look. I wasn't sure what the look meant But I feel like it's gonna come back up.
That might, yeah, because Power doesn't deal a lot with just throwing stuff out there.
No, and it literally was like one line. So I don't know, but the face that he made, I don't know if he was insulted, like nigga, I mean what, like you denying me now, or something like that. But I feel like it might come back,
right?
If he needs some leverage over Teresi at some point, which he probably will.
So, just wrapping up about Tommy, when he met with the guy, the Italian whose men that he hired,
yeah,
pretty much he said that he wants 50-50 off of the drug deal that they made in the last episode. He has to pay restitution for the families,
which is 2 separate families, and that's something else that he should have learned right then. The dude was like, "Now I got 2 sets of families who kids is dead. What I'm supposed to do about that?" Because they take family so serious, right. And Tommy don't understand because he ain't never had one.
Right. So, and when the guy asked him, about it, Tommy said that he took care of the guy that did it. Lying, of course, because it was Dre.
And
Dre definitely still walking around right. in these streets.
And his daddy friend, it was like,
oh yeah, he did it. He like he vouched for him.
Yeah.
So now they have another lot of, to take care of with this. And the guy stole off on Tommy afterwards, like, I ain't lying for you no more. Mm-hmm. So Tommy is already starting to rupture his relationships, but I do feel like I said, I do feel like he's going to mend it and make things better and finally start being about family or close around the middle of the season.
He being optimistic. I don't see it, but okay.
I don't see Tommy not being heavily involved with the Italians by going into next season. I see that he's going to be heavily involved with them. Moving on from Tommy, just a little quick on Kanan. Kanan, of course, he told, who was involved with Tariq and,
yeah.
In his little licks and stuff like that. And there's only one real part that really made any sense or to talk about. He went to the Jamaicans that he hired to take out Dre, and he pretty much just had a quick rundown. Like, they thought that Dre was gone. Like, the Italians took care of him. So he told him no, it didn't go down like that.
Right.
But he pretty much talked about his plan to take over the drug gang, and I knew Kanan was gonna have some type of play.
Yeah, because they was like, well, if we didn't take Dre out, then how we gonna get his connect or whatever? And he was like, oh, I'm in. I'm gonna get close to the Serbian dude now, and I'm gonna take out Tommy, and then I'm gonna take. I was just like, yeah, so what?
He still has his plan to take over the drug gang. Kanan hasn't changed at all. It's just that now he has a thing now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
With Ghost and Tommy, and he's pretty much just gonna use them to help further his agenda.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just using the enemy of my enemy as my friend shit at this point.
Yeah.
Who else? Proctor.
Poor Proctor.
Proctor, I feel bad for Proctor because Proctor is at this point just trying to get his lawyer license back pretty much. And his case came up. First, they sent a subpoena to Terry because Terry did not want to be a witness in helping him back.
And Mike made him.
Right. So when Terry finally shows up and Proctor was doing pretty well at first until Terry showed up.
You might want to do that whole other part over.
Get to the trial. Proctor's doing pretty well until Terry shows up, and the thing that messes it all up, it makes everything a little sketchy, is when they asked Terry to come up as a witness, he just like he wasn't fully answering the damn questions, and that's the thing that I hate. Because, you just had to say yes or no.
Right. And he's like, well, there's a little gray area.
Right.
Like, bro.
And the biggest thing about it that messed the whole thing up was they were talking about the conflict of interest between Proctor and Ghost because he already represented Tommy.
Right.
So Terry's like, oh, he didn't want him to take, the plea deal. And
other lawyers would have told their clients to take a plea. And then Proctor countered and was like,
was he not innocent?
Was he not innocent? And he was like, well, yeah, he was. So I told my innocent client not to take a plea deal, and somehow I'm being corrupted because I didn't. And it's a conflict of interest because I didn't want my innocent client to go to jail for something that he did not do.
Folks is weird, bro. Folks is weird, bro.
Like,
that didn't even make sense, but that's the problem with the justice system today.
Yeah, and because other lawyers or other ways of doing, like, what? That don't make sense. If I really believe in my client, like, why would I tell them to do something and I know that they ain't do it? But besides that, other little facts that came out during the little, trial process.
Ain't even his name.
Proctor ain't even his real name. That's his stepdaddy last name because I can't remember his original one.
Said that is,
but his daddy
was a
murderer.
Yeah.
No, straight up.
Yeah. So he changed his name. He didn't want his name to be tied. That's how I saw it. He didn't want his name to be tied with his dad. And then for everybody else to just look at him like a criminal. Right. And that's why he became a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? It's like, just because I'm a lawyer for criminal.
And I stand next to criminals don't mean that I'm a criminal. And the thing was, the way that the little board was looking at him was like, yeah, you a criminal, you crooked, XYZ. But I'm just like, that's the whole point of having a lawyer. Everybody gets a lawyer in the U.S. justice system, right? So that means everybody not going to be innocent of the crime. And if they are, that means y'all wasting tax dollars on bringing innocent people to trial left and right then, if that's the case. So with that being said, they're going to have lawyers that represent people who are guilty of the crimes. But the way our justice system is set up, everybody has to have a trial. So with that being said, they going to have lawyers that got to be next to criminals. Like, literally, it made no sense. That's just how and it was the most frustrating and aggravating scene because it's like, what? Yeah. But whatever.
That's just frustrating. There's not a lot.
Well, the only other scenes that kind of happened was scenes between Tasha and Angela, and then Angela kind of had a scene off to the side, and then some more stuff about Dre.
Dre is the last one that really needs in depth, to be.
So before we get to him, Tasha, stop meeting up with Angela in public. I don't care how many times she call you and tell you to come meet her. Y'all done met in public between this episode and last episode about 6 times. Right. I'm tired of it because guess what? Angela keep trying to act like she trying to, tie off and burn off loose ends. But the issue is, bruh. What?
Don't stop on mine.
The issue is, girl, the more and more me and you get seen with each other is the bigger problem. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, they meeting in coffee shops, big full locations. It's ridiculous. Besides that, Angela is working on a case that, from the beginning of the episode where the 2 dudes got killed by the Jimenez. So they have figured out that the gun used at that crime scene was the same one used, I think it was last season or season 3, where they had shot the man's wife and they had made him have a overdose and they stole the baby. And they stole the baby. Well, they had surveillance footage them leaving out the front of the building and some of their associates leaving out the side, but the doorman just figured that they lived in the building. Problem is, they think it's the Jimenez brothers. Like, everybody thinks it's brothers. So they was like, well, who's the woman with the baby? Meanwhile, she Jimenez brother. And then Angela's like, well, if I find out who she is, I could get her to talk. And we like, sure. Right. Sure you can.
Right. Angie might fuck around and die. Yep. She might fuck around and die fucking with the Jimenez broster.
Right.
Yeah. I won't say I'm be mad if she does, but somebody gotta die.
Please, Lord, after 5 seasons, kill Angela.
Rounding out the last of this review with Dre. Dre is starting to get himself a little over his head. He's becoming drunk with power. Mm-hmm. That's how I want to say. First, of course, he goes first and talks to Jimenez bro, and it's just like this weird like threesome scene, and
Right.
He's like trying, like he wants to walk.
Dre is like, oh my bad.
And the dude like, no, I need an audience.
I like an audience.
I need somebody to watch.
It's like, what?
The payoff of that at the end of the episode was funny too. We'll get to that. But yeah, they had a small conversation. Don't even really. It was. I didn't feel like that was an important conversation. It was just setting up Dre to still feel like somebody's over him. Yeah. If that makes sense. Just to feel like he's not fully the boss yet.
Yeah, and also he was kind of talking to him about the 718. Something happened with that. Like the whole opening scene at the dock, everybody kind of had something to do with it or whatever. So
and yeah, he needed Dre to secure the dock, right? So they can get their drugs. Yes. What happened after that? Dre was gonna call a hit on not the Jimenez, the Toros. Yeah. And it was a certain person in the Toros that he was gonna call a hit on, but of course they didn't need that. They're working with the Toros, but they didn't want it to come back to them. Yeah. So they were gonna hire a hit and then kill the people that did the hit to make sure there were no loose strings. Right. And at that time, one of Dre's like right hand men saw the guy and then just decided, hey, I'm gonna just do it myself. I'm gonna just
shoot him in broad daylight on the middle of the street.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do it and save everybody some time. Right. And Dre was like, once he reported that back, Dre was like, bro, you're an idiot.
Yeah, like flashed out.
Yeah, like because it can't get tied back to us. You know what I'm saying? So him and I cannot remember the guy's name that is like the Latino guy that's been working with him.
Cristobal.
That is Cristobal. Yeah. I wanted to say, I thought I was gonna be wrong, so that's the reason why I didn't want to say Cristobal. But he told Cristobal, like, they're like, you gotta kill this dude. Right. Like, yeah, he's gonna end up doing something stupid. So that dude is gonna die in another episode or so.
Yeah, it's coming.
And Dre just pretty much went and talked to him. Was like, bruh, whenever I say to do something, that's how it's done. And so
the dude was like, oh, you think you better than everybody? And he was like, nigga, you work for me.
Right. So Dre's, like, his little empire is slightly unraveling while he's building at the same time. Like, his threads are not as strong as he thought they were. Right. And so moving on from that, the dude also secured the dock as well. Like, he did part of what Dre told him to, right, but he messed up on the other end. And also, the Jimenez brother was asking about the club, make sure everything was running smoothly. So they had opening night at Truth, and of course, because Dre is running it now. And Ghost showed up there for one
in the Ghost hoodie,
in the Ghost bubble jacket.
We didn't know what was gonna happen,
right? So it looked like Ghost was just doing some surveillance, keeping his eye on him, checking his routine, and of course, the Jimenez bro showed up at the club, bought hella Dom
Perignon. And the girl was like, one of the waitresses was like, hey, they got somebody in VIP. He bought it, but he didn't want to pay for it or whatever, so you need to go handle that. So he go up there, and then, of course, the Jimenez brother. And
the dude, he was like, yeah, you go fuck this girl for, a job well done. And at first he was like, nah, I'm good. And he was like, nah, that wasn't like
a request.
Yeah, like that wasn't a question. That was, you gonna do it. And then Chick was like, oh, he might smell my pussy just to see if we did it. You know what I'm saying? So you better fuck me or we both did. And then so Dre just started smashing. And then the nigga walk in the bathroom like, it's my turn to watch.
Just a creeper.
And then Dre was like, nah, I'm good. Bust out. You know what I'm saying? So that was pretty much it for Dre in this episode. But we could see that it's like there's still a power struggle. Yeah. Dre might mess around and kill Jimenez because he like, man, I'm tired of y'all telling me what to do now. Right. So that's a possibility as well. So that might be how he end up getting killed because he killed Jimenez later on, which takes off the protection barrier.
Right. And at the very end of the episode, Ghost kills a random man, but it wasn't so random.
Yeah, in the support group that they've been going to, one of the guys says, my child was hit by a drunk driver, and every day he still goes and gets him a bottle and just drives off. Like,
right.
And he does it every day. So Ghost went and called him a body.
Yeah.
And he went and politely stabbed the nigga up.
Yeah, and you could tell, because, like, you know, I watch a lot of crime shows.
Stabbing is a very passionate.
And it takes a lot of energy to actually stab somebody. It's a lot to stab someone. Yeah. So I feel like he was taking a lot of his own aggression and frustration out on this man. But it's just like, okay, I don't feel that bad because it's not an innocent person or whatever. The only issue that I have with it is, okay, random 2 new people come to our support group. I tell this story. Man ends up dead. We ain't gonna just say random 2 people killed this man or the husband of the random 2 people killed this man. Especially man who been on trial for murder and drug stuff.
We'll see how that plays out.
It could be a one-off and that never come from it, but it's just like,
all right. I just be like, he's gone.
Right.
Somebody took care of it.
I ain't gonna speculate.
Or the person might be like,
what's up?
Mad. Or he might be mad because he ain't get to do it.
True.
So that'll definitely be an interesting development to see.
Yep.
It could end up giving Tasha somebody to talk to.
Possibly.
So there's a lot of things that can come from this episode. But I also want to point out one thing that we didn't talk about. They brought everything back to the beginning of the first episode of Power when they were looking at truth. And they were like, they were trying to figure out if the girl that's saying that Ghost did it, they were trying to see if it was legitimate. And they were saying, like, there's a loading dock under truth. So Tommy or whoever could have brought them to the loading dock where they killed Miguel. And that's why it was so quiet.
Right.
And
because the girl said she heard a party.
And then it stopped.
And then it stopped all of a sudden when they got inside.
And what's Han's name in this movie again?
Mock
was like, I don't think this is legit. You know, like he was discrediting. Yeah, he was discrediting it.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely see what happens with that because they're getting closer. They're pinpointing a lot of stuff, but they cannot prove it yet.
Right.
So
and we found out whose
login she was using. It was like
some dude that work in IT,
and he got locked out. So he might mess around and trace the IP address that logged in.
Right. Because he an IT dude. See, I thought that she was using the other black agent, his information.
Who Sandoval tried to kill.
Right. I thought it was him. But then when old boy came in and his name was Darius or whatever, and I was like, that's doggone D Gaines.
So, yeah. Yeah, we'll see. It's a lot of interesting developments still happening. That's it for our Power review.
Yes.
Who do you think is gonna die next?
Right. When they gonna die?
Right.
We on episode 2 and we haven't had any notable deaths. People have died, but you know how they go.
What do you think is gonna happen after the rest of after this episode? Like, we
don't even have specific questions.
Right.
To ask.
Where do you think like this is going next? What are your theories after this episode?
Yeah. Is Tariq actually gonna go to Connecticut to the little school and turn his life around?
Is Tariq actually Caitlin's son?
Okay.
Somebody made a joke on Twitter today saying, I've heard twins be for 2 separate people.
Which is highly possible.
It'd be crazy if Raina and Tariq, they're twins. So if Raina was still Ghost's kid, but Tariq was Caitlin's, that'd be some weird shit right there.
But it's
how
possible.
They pull it off. But, if you want to see some more theories, make sure you go check out our last video. There were a lot of good theories and stuff on that in the comments.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely check that one out.
And thank you guys for all of your support. We got a lot of views and a lot of comments on the last Power review. So please like it, share it, comment, because we do comment back.
Yes, we do. If you like our videos, share it with one of your friends. If you hate our videos, share it with